was conscious of a new power of expanding her pinions. The certainty of the thing is to him repressive. He has done his work and gained his victory, and by conquering has become a slave. To her, the certainty of the thing is the removal of a restraint which has hitherto always been on her. She can tell him everything and be told everything, whereas her previous confidences, made with those of her own sex, have been tame and by comparison valueless. He has no new confidence to make, unless when he comes to tell her he likes his meat well done and wants his breakfast to be punctual. Lucy now not only promised herself, but did actually realize a great joy. He seemed to her all that her heart desired. He was a man whose manner was naturally caressing and demonstrative, and she was, to him, of all women, the sweetest, the dearest, the most perfect, and all his own. But Frank, she had already been taught to call him Frank when they were alone together, what will come of all this about Lizzie Eustace? They will be married, of course. Do you think so? I am sure Lady Fawn doesn't think so. What Lady Fawn thinks on such a matter cannot be helped. When a man asks a woman to marry him and she accepts, the natural consequence is that they will be married. Don't you think so? I hope so, sometimes, said Lucy, with her two hands joined upon his arm, and hanging to it with all her little weight. You really do hope it? He said. Oh, I do, you know I do. Hope it. I should die if I didn't hope it. Then why shouldn't she? He asked his question with a quick, sharp voice, and then turned upon her for an answer. I don't know, she said very softly, and still clinging to him. I sometimes think there is a difference in people. There is a difference, but still we hardly judge of people sufficiently by our own feelings. As she accepted him, you may be sure that she wishes to marry him. She has more to give than he has. And I have nothing to give, she said. If I thought so, I'd go back even now, he answered. It is because you have so much to give, so much more than most others, that I have thought of you, dreamed of you as my wife, almost ever since I first knew you. I have nothing left to give, she said. What I ever had is all given. People call it the heart. I think it is heart and brain and mind and body, and almost soul. But, Frank, though Lizzie Eustace is your cousin, I don't want to be likened to her. She is very clever and beautiful, and has a way with her that I know is charming, but... But what, Lucy? I don't think she cares so much as some people. I dare say she likes Lord Fawn very well, but I do not believe she loves him as I love you. They're engaged, said Frank, and the best thing they can do is marry each other. I can tell you this at any rate, and his manner again became serious. If Lord Fawn behaves ill to her, I, as her cousin, shall take her part. You don't mean that you'll fight him? No, my darling. Men don't fight each other nowadays. Not often, at least. And Fawn and I are not of the fighting sort. I can make him understand what I mean, and what others will mean without fighting him. He is making a paltry excuse. But why should he want to excuse himself without reason? Because he is afraid. People have got hold of him and told him lies, and he thinks there will be a scrape about this necklace, and he hates a scrape. He'll marry her at last without a doubt, and Lady Fawn is only making trouble for herself by trying to prevent it. You can't do anything. Oh, no, I can't do anything. When she was here it became at last quite disagreeable. She hardly spoke to them, and I'm sure that even the servants understood that there was a quarrel. She did not say a word of Lizzie's offer of the brooch to herself, nor of the stories by which degrees were searching her ears as to the old debts, and the diamonds, and the young bride's conduct to Lady Linlithgow, as soon as she married her grand husband, Sir Florian. She did think badly of Lizzie, and could not but regret that her own noble, generous Frank should have to expend his time and labour on a friend unworthy of his friendship. But there was no shade of jealousy in her feeling, and she uttered no word against Lizzie more bitter than that in which she declared that there was a difference between people. And then there was something said as to their own prospects in life. Lucy at once, and with vehemence, declared that she did not look for or expect an immediate marriage. She did not scruple to tell him that she knew well how difficult was the task before him, and that it might be essential for his interest that he should remain as he was for a year or two. He was astonished to find how completely she understood his position, and how thoroughly she sympathized with his interests. "There is only one thing I couldn't do for you," she said. "And what is that one thing?" "I couldn't give you up. I almost thought that I ought to refuse you, because I can do nothing to help you. But there will always come a limit to self-denial. I couldn't do that, could I?" The reader will know how this question was answered, and will not want to be told of the long, close, clinging, praiseworthy kiss with which the young barrister assured her that they would have been on her part an act of self-denial which would to him have been absolutely ruinous. It was agreed, however, between them that Lady Fawn should be told that they did not propose to marry till some time in the following year, and that she should be formally asked to allow Lucy to have a home at Fawn Court in the interval. End of chapter 18.